Hey guys, Chris here. I want to take a moment to go a bit deeper into the idea of deterrence. There seems to be a lot of misunderstanding when it comes to deterrence, and so I want to set the record straight, define our terms, so that we're all on the same page. So let's take a moment to define what deterrence is, and then two things that deterrence is not. Here's the big idea. Deterrence is all about lowering our risks. To be completely clear, sometimes bad things happen. There are bad guys who are determined to hurt someone, or worse. There are fires that will happen, and water leaks that turn into floods. Stuff happens, and we cannot prevent them. There are no guarantees. However, we can take some steps to make it less likely that bad things will happen to us, but we cannot prevent them from happening. For instance, if a bad guy has decided to break into a home, nothing that we can do will prevent him from breaking into a home. However, there are steps that we can take that can deter him from choosing our home. That's our best hope, that he will look at our house, decide to target our neighbor instead. Also, to be clear, in an ideal scenario, our neighbor will also be taking deterrence measures, so the bad guy may target the next street. But hopefully, the neighbors on the next street are also taking deterrence measures, and so he will target the next neighborhood instead. And hopefully, that next neighborhood is full of people who are taking deterrence precautions as well. And you guessed it, then maybe the bad guy will target the next city instead, or even the next state or province. However, this is a good time to remind ourselves what deterrence is not. First, deterrence is not blaming the victim. If the bad guy has decided to do the unspeakable to a woman, nothing can prevent him from doing so. Sometimes, even taking many deterrence precautions, she will still be his target. I want to be very clear. The victim is never to blame for being targeted. The fault always lies with the bad guy. Hopefully, deterrence measures will cause the bad guy to target someone else or some other home. But sometimes we're still going to be the victim. And that leads me to my last point. Deterrence is not a guarantee. No matter how many precautions we take, sometimes the fires will still break out, or the leaks will still spring, or the bad guy still kicks in the front door. While we can, and should, take steps to deter an incident, we cannot make any guarantees, even if we do everything perfectly. I know that the idea of deterrence failing is not a fun one, but the more steps that we take, the lower we can bring our risks down to, and the more likely that we will be able to live a more secure life. Talk to you next time.